Hey guys.
Like a priest during Sunday school, I am super excited to check out the brand new video, brand new song from Bloodred Hourglass, Drag Me the Rain. Are you as excited as me?
That was, I gotta say, that was actually really good.
All right. So let's move on.
It was a little disturbing, but it was good.
Accurate.
Accurate, yeah.
Accurate. You cannot complain when the statements are accurate.
Exactly.
Against facts, there's no arguments.
With most of your statements, they're accurate.
You may not be pleasant. The arguments, the statements may not be pleasant. The memories or the thoughts that come from them may also not be pleasant. But you can't argue with facts. Against facts, there's no arguments. It's just the way it is. It's a fact of life. All right, Drag Me the Rain, brand new Bloodred Hourglass. I could not be more excited. I love these guys.
They were one of your first loves.
One of my first loves as far as Finnish metal is concerned, and new album in the horizon. You can see it's like a mirage, but you know it's there. You know it's there. And this is the first taste. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a mouthful of Bloodred Hourglass. Oh, that sounded disturbing.
That sounded disturbing.
from now on, when we do Bloodred Hourglass videos on the channel, I'm going to wear a condom. That way, at least I don't mess myself up during the video.
So what you're saying right now?
I jizzed a little
He
bit.
soiled himself.
No, I didn't soil myself.
Oh.
That means I took a crap. Like
Well,
I'm not into that kind of shit. Literally. Literally. You know, what do you think I am, R. Kelly? Like, fuck, man. I'm not my cup of tea. All right. On that note, let's move on. What did you think of this track?
These guys, man. It's just... It's exciting to know that this year is gonna be even better than last year.
As far as music?
As far as music,
Well, as far as anything, I mean, it's kind of hard to get any worse.
Exactly.
I mean, we were at the bottom of the barrel. Like, things can only improve.
Yeah. It's just so nice to know that these guys are going to put something out, and I'm going to be hooked for as long as I will be to these guys. Because, so, I don't know, their sound is very distinct. We always talk about how a band has a very distinct sound.
Not all of them, but the good ones.
The good ones.
The good ones should have their own distinct DNA.
And they have their own DNA that once you hear something, and not even like 5 seconds, you know who it is. These guys, their thing is that almost every song, very upbeat and melodic, but has the pulling down factor of with the
still
vocals.
crunchy.
Still crunchy, but overall very upbeat, especially in the chorus. The chorus there, it just makes you want to jump around with your brothers in arms. And just jump around.
Yeah, they don't have that melancholy that's very natural. I mean, they do have it in some songs, but it's not their DNA to be super melancholic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like some other bands that come from Finland that have that melancholy built into their DNA. I feel, and this may piss off a lot of people, but I already said a lot of things on this video that may piss off a lot of people. So, like, what's one more? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they have almost more of a Swedish influence to their sound, more than Finnish. But hold on, I'm going to continue.
You started a war.
I'm going to continue here. Because I feel like they have a little bit more of In Flames in them.
Yeah. You know what?
In terms of their sound. So if you're looking at melodic... So let me continue my train of thought. If you're looking at melodic death metal, and you're looking at melodic death metal that comes from Finland, and you're looking at melodic death metal that comes from Sweden, from that time period, their sound fits more into the Swedish paradigm than it does into the Finnish paradigm.
Yeah, now I know, because in Finland, a lot of the melodic death metal is more
emotionally driven.
With melody, but more emotionally driven.
But the melody has somber and darkness, and it's dripping and painfulness.
The In Flames one was a good comparison, because these guys do actually remind me a lot of.
But even a little bit of dark tranquility.
Yeah,
that specific,
because very upbeat melody, and it has
more of a joyful
feel, yeah,
to it. So that's what I mean. I'm looking at the two camps, the Finnish melodic death metal camp and their sound and their DNA, and then I'm looking at the Swedish melodic death metal camp. Obviously, In Flames doesn't sound now like they did 20 years ago, but I'm talking about that time frame, that time period, the bands that came out of that generation. You know what I mean? So if I look at those two camps, these guys, their sound kind of falls more on the Swedish side than it does on the Finnish side. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different approach, a different sound. And I think that's what makes them unique within their own environment. What other band do you know that comes from from Finland that has this sort of sound and style that sounds like them? I mean, I'm not going to name any bands here, but I could play 10 bands, like off the top of my head, I can play 10 bands from Finland, and their sound, their feel is always very similar to each other. Yeah, there's differences.
There's the emotion.
But if I play you 5 seconds of 10 tracks from 10 different bands, you're going to have perhaps a hard time deciding which band belongs to each track, because there's a lot of similarities in the atmosphere that they create. I play this for 5 seconds, you know immediately, you're listening to Bloodred Hourglass. Why? Because they still have, the way I look at them, they still have the Finnish DNA built into them, but they have a huge influence from that Swedish melodic death metal, old school sound that gives them perhaps a little bit of an edge above their peers, if you will, that have more of a style that falls in line with everybody else.
The Finnish melodic death metal and Swedish.
And they were adopted by Swedish parents.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe Bloodred Hourglass. And that's one of the things I like about them. The topics of the songs, like you could go through every single album that they have, and you can pick the most sorrowful songs, the most depressive tracks that they have. But the melody in those tracks, for as much sorrowness that it has, it still has a little bit of a joyful output.
Very upbeat, and it just makes you want to jump around.
Not all of them, but yeah,
a lot of them.
Vast majority, I would agree with you. So even if the lyrics have a dark somberness to them, the way they come across
and everything else kind of pick up the song.
Yeah, they lift it up. Yeah. They lift it up. They're able to lift it up. This track, by the way, they have a new member. They have a new guitar player, and I believe he's the one that wrote this song. At least that's the information that I've been given by an inside source.
Ooh.
Inside the band. This song is really, really interesting. This is a band that I feel like it's always evolving, always changing. If you look at their progression across their records, they haven't changed drastically, but man, they fine-tuned a few things here and there, and they're starting to find exactly their sweet spot. I don't think they're there yet, but they're getting there. But they're a band that, if you look at the first record to what this record is going to be, but up until now, because I haven't heard the album, but up until now, every album has been better than the previous album. They've had this exponential growth.
Yeah.
And I feel the reason I feel like they've done that is because they haven't changed too much of their DNA from an album to an album. They've changed a few things here and there. Not enough for you to say, wow, man, they went from this to this. Like, what a change.
Rewrite of the band.
Yeah, like, what are they doing? Like, they're reinventing the wheel here. So, but they've done enough to change ever so slight, like a few tweaks here and there. So it's not super noticeable, but it allows the next album to always be better than the previous album. That's how I feel about it. And this song is, man, the guitar melody on this track, with a little bit of a keyboard. There's a little bit of a keyboard sprinkled in there. And to finish off, I want to ask you one thing, because I think we have to finish off on that note. The vocals.
Oh. Hey, his vocals...
A little bit of clean vocals.
A little bit of clean vocals, but I mean, it's nothing that new. I mean...
But I felt like he was more controlled on this track.
Yeah, because sometimes he goes all over the place with the...
Sometimes it feels like there's 4 guys singing on the song.
That's what I'm saying. He goes all over the place, and he kind of picks up halfway through where he had the other, verse. So it does feel like there's more people, but this one it felt like he was more direct.
Yeah, felt more controlled, more direct. I really enjoyed that a little bit that heavier style that he brought towards the end.
The song stopped.
Yeah,
and then he came back.
I felt like that was important at that time to kind of kickstart the song. But he has a great voice that really matches the melody and the darkness and the heaviness that the band has. Like, he almost has a style and an approach that he can use to give the nuances, the same nuances that you're getting from the guitars and the drums and the bass and everything else you're getting from his vocals. He's changing every so often throughout the song in order to give you these ebbs and flows. Yeah. That the track has already those ebbs and flows musically. He's giving you that vocally. Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, this is it for today. Come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.